Wow. Wow. Okay, you really tried to get me there. Alrighty.
I'm not waiting for you.
Oh,
Okay. Hey.
this is rankings week 7. My oh my. What a game that was played this week. I am so excited to talk about the absolute atrocious gameplay of some of these people and the absolutely god tier reads of some of these people. And I'm so glad. Actually, let me not speak too soon. This group has not been blown up, but it has been rocked to its core. And I'm finally excited by the possible state of the game, and I'm not bored to death. And I'm not annoyed by everyone.
Yeah,
I'm only
so
annoyed by a small handful of people. Um,
which is better than before?
which is better than before. What I find so unique about the season, especially from weeks 5 to 6 and now to 7, there is like normally I feel like rankings are like a slow trajectory. People's lines are pretty consistent and they cross here
They're
and there.
spiking this season.
This season is just a whole lot of up, down, up, down. There's no pattern. Honestly, like it's so confusing how to rank these people because it's so sincerely like some people have such a strong control on the game, but they could go home next week. And some people seemingly, I think, like are quote out of it, but I think that they could make it to the final two and win with how the jury is. So like I don't know what the fuck to do in terms of these. I mean, I know what to do. I've locked them in, but it's like whereas I feel like normally our rankings are like pretty on the money with like where the game is going and we can generally start to predict people's downfalls. It's like it's anybody's fucking guess as to what's going to happen next. I feel like especially leaving this week specifically.
Yeah. So this week, Danny won the turnover HOH competition.
To which I say,
He nominated Kaylin and Damon for eviction.
to which I say, okay.
We had some powers and punishments taken. Actually, all of them, which we'll go over soon. But no, most notably, Karina uh, got the secret power of veto.
To which I say,
At the veto competition, Caden won Otev. Second place was Suba.
to
Uh,
which I say,
is that your silenced, or is
yes,
that
that's me being silent. I've got no words.
okay? I didn't know if it was like a
No,
yeah.
no. I refuse to comment on the matter. Now,
Uh, Caden, the plan with Karina, which is was we'll talk more about it and the convolutions with it, was that he was going to use the veto to save his partner, former partner Damon. Uh, Last minute, uh, to try in an attempt to plead or please Danny, he decided not to use it. Karina did use the veto, her secret veto, to save Kaylin, or sorry, not save Kaylin, to save Damon instead of Kaylin. She was hoping to save Kaylin if Hayden used it on Damon. So many ins. Um, Danny tried to name Karina as the replacement nominee. He was not allowed to do that, so instead he named Suba, leaving the final nominees as Suba and Kaylin. And the least exciting part of the week, Kaylin was evicted by a vote of 5-1. We can
but
go
she had
over
a
some of these.
kick-ass presentation.
Yeah, we can go over some of these. All of these were taken this week. I mean, we can go in sequential order of how it was. Jason, we know, picked Episode Outlaw 2 weeks ago. Jamie used her competition advantage last veto. Riley got the lose your vote in an attempt to go into the store to find something to save herself.
Then it
This
was Damon.
Yeah, this week Damon went in first, got the cash prize. Has not claimed the cash prize, which I'm just like, okay.
I
Um,
mean, rather unfortunate for Damon because the cash prize would amount to, I believe, negative euros by the time the
yeah.
conversion happened.
So
So
Damon got
really unfortunate pull for Damon.
Kaylin went in right after in an attempt to find something to take her off the block. Got a third nominee for next week. As we know, she's no longer here anymore, so that's not going to go into effect. Subo was next. No, no.
No. Next up was Caden,
Oh, Caden got the cattle subscription. Just an
which
annoyance.
I thought he was gonna miss today until I think Karina reminded him or someone.
Yeah,
Someone
Karina went
reminded.
in, got the secret veto. Then it was Juan. Is it Juan or Suba?
Then it
Suba.
was Juan.
Juan got the video message from a former Big Brother player. What he doesn't know is it's a former Big Brother SS player. And
And
by
it's
former Big
Jason.
Brother SS player, we mean someone who's actually still currently a player, which I don't know how I feel about that. But Uh,
You came up with it.
I know Suba got the no veto for this week. One of the only powers to still be in effect this coming week. And then after the veto meeting, Danny and Ashlyn decided to both go in. Ashlyn got the flip a vote. Danny got the secret mission, which is also still in effect. Um, yeah. So
Overall,
we'll
A
come back
plus for
and
this twist. I loved this
yeah, me
twist.
too.
This is honestly, I think, probably one of my favorites. Would love to bring back some sort of variation on it. Honestly, so far, I think the twist this season, I mean, Howdy Partners did what it was meant to do. I wouldn't say
No, I was gonna say this is a great season for twists. I think the 6 shooter showdown is gonna be really good.
I think so too. I'm not raving about Howdy Partners, but it certainly did its job. I think a solid high B tier, low A tier. General Store, I loved. I'd honestly say like S tier, like
Yeah, one of
really.
our best.
And 6 shooter showdown next week. We'll talk about what we think might happen after this because our next rankings, it will have been done. So
Mm.
very excited to talk about this all.
We'll come back and reference those when we need to. But let's start with talking about Ashlyn.
Yes. So last week, Ashlyn was at a 5 from the both of us after being at a 6 for a while. Um, the game, we already did the recap of how the game, like what physically happened in the game. I think the other big update that we have yet to touch on is yes, there has been this group of four, the country cowgirls or whatever the hell they're called, consisting of Kaden, Danny, Juan, and Karina. And they have essentially been running this game. They've had all the power. They've been deciding kind of collectively as a group and supporting one another and like just taking target after target after target out. It's been all their way. This week, they really self imploded from a lack of communication, truly on all fronts, but mainly, I mean, it's all of their faults, except honestly, in my opinion, for Danny's. And we'll get to the four of them when it happens. However, with that has formed the results of two new sides where I think this country cowgirls group still exists. I don't think they are headhunting each other, but they are definitely headhunting each other's sides at the very least. So we've got Danny and Juan who have teamed up with Jamie and Ashlyn specifically. And then we have Kaden and Karina who teamed up with Damon and Kaylin specifically, with Suba kind of floating in this middle position, kind of liked by all sides, not being targeted by any sides. Um, so on Ashlyn's end of things, she has finally been locked into a majority, or sorry, not a majority, an alliance that I think is really locked in. I think, I mean, just to call a spade a spade, um, she's finally been locked into an alliance that I really think has each other's backs. I really think Ashlyn, Danny, Jamie, and Juan as a group of four are an actual tight group of four that are not inclined to turn on one another. Um, and I think for her that is great. On the flip side, I think that she's expendable to literally everyone on the other side. She's very visibly tied to Danny and Juan, which I think is going to be a priority takeout for some people here soon. And I also unfortunately think that like don't get me wrong, this jury is bitter. This is going to be a very bitter jury. But through it all, I don't think Ashlyn is like the one that they're rooting for. Nor do I
I don't
think
think
that
they're
like
rooting against her either.
I mean, I don't think they're rooting against her, but it's like I think if say Caden or Juan was sitting in the end next to Suba or Jamie, people who on paper may have played less impressive games, they'd be inclined to give it to Suba or Jamie because they really like want them to win. I think if they were up against Ashlyn, they'd be like, oh hey, like, do we give it to like I don't think they're rooting for Ashlyn. They haven't mentioned Ashlyn's name once. Um, so I just kind of unfortunately think Ashlyn has fallen truly into, in my opinion, this season's GOAT in terms of like, I think she's the person that is the least likely to win just by like people kind of forget she's there. She's not doing a ton. No one's really rooting for her. They're not rooting against her, which means no one's talking about her. I am kind of laying flat. I don't think it's awful, but I certainly don't think it's great. I'm going to be staying at my 5. I think this group of 4 is good for her, but I don't think she's at the top of it. I don't think she's driving any decisions.
Yeah.
Um, so I can't go to a green score. So it's going to be a 5 for me again.
I'm going to stay at my 5 as well, but for different reasons. I think it's personally too early to tell if Ashlyn's going to be the final 2 jury goat of the season. I don't know if she can't win against anyone else. I think that you're severely underestimating how much the jury does not like some people here. Um, I'm giving her a 5 because yes, she's in this new alliance, which is great, but she was kind of just like pulled into it. She has great individual relationships with Danny and Juan, but it was more of like she was kind of added as the 4th person, which is great. She's still in it, but I do think she's pretty expendable to her alliance still, and that's going to be interesting if someone from the other side wins. And there's only 4 of them to choose from. So overall, I'm going to say my 5. I have nothing else really to say about that, but yeah.
Let's look at the graph before we move on to our next person. There's the graph. Great.
Kaden.
Like, actually, when we make a BBSS documentary or write a BBSS history book, the downfall of Caden Britton will be like written in the textbooks of how goddamn fucking moronic and awful everything that he did this week was. Let me start by saying this, Caden. Anything that I'm about to say does not change the fact that I love you dearly and you will forever be a dear friend. This is me as a host speaking objectively. So now that I've established that we're still awesome friends and love you so much, this was atrocious. My skin has like crawled watching Caden like talk to people this week. Let's establish first just the gameplay of it all. He first got picked to play in the veto, acknowledged that it would be best to throw it because he acknowledged that Danny, his number 1, doesn't want his noms changed. Damon, his former partner, is on the block and would expect him to save him. And Kaylin, the other nom, just picked him as house guest choice in front of everyone. Him winning this veto is a no-win situation for him. He has to make enemies. Instead, in that veto competition, we got down to the final 3 of Caden, Danny, and Suba, and Caden said, guys, throw it to me. I really need a comp win. To which Suba said, bitch, I have none. What?
Yeah,
And
he has. What does he have? An HOH and a veto. I guess that's it. But
I'm like, more than most people.
Yeah.
I really need a comp win. And Suba was like, I have none. And Danny was like, I want noms to stay. Please just throw it to me. Caden went ahead and won it and immediately started pushing his own agenda of getting Jamie out. He was so fucking cocky that Danny was just gonna like do this and that he could force his hand. The whole time, Danny made it pretty fucking clear in the alliance chat of Country Cowgirls, in people's individual chats. He's like, I don't want to put up Jamie. He said, I want the noms to stay the same. I do not want to put up Jamie. Like, he wasn't hiding that. This was not a blindside. However, Caden is in his little chats with Karina, and they're making their plots, and they're like, well, if we use it, like, then Danny's like forced to put up Jamie. Newsflash, Danny's not forced to do shit. There are a lot of other options, and most of them are not named Jamie. So if Danny doesn't want to put up Jamie, like he said, he's not going to put up Jamie. He never said he was going to put up Jamie. So he was operating under this mindset the whole time that he was going to save Jamie, right? Karina then gets the secret power veto. Caden goes to Damon and is like, hey, Damon, you got the cash prize? New plan. You're going to say you got the secret power veto, and Karina's going to take the cash prize. And just expected Damon to be like, fine. Didn't explain the plan. Nothing. Literally, like, that was the FaceTime call. And Damon was like, okay, it's 3 a.m. for me. Can I go to bed now? and then texted his DR, and he's like, all Caden does is show up in a FaceTime call, talk at me, tell me what to do, and then says like, sorry, Suba's calling now, gotta go. Like Damon is fucking over it. Um, so all of that is happening. He's now like talking to Danny, and Danny is like, Caden, I don't want this veto used. There is, in theory, a secret veto out there, which Danny knows damn well is either won by Damon or what he's actually assuming, Karina, because Caden and Karina have been so sneaky and like clearly talking to each other behind Danny's back to get Jamie up on the block, which has made Danny even more so not want to put Jamie up. Danny made like so clear, like, I don't want the noms to use this veto. If you do, and the secret veto gets used, you are blindsiding me, going against my wishes as HOH, as my number one ally. I, in theory, have to name two, maybe three more nominees if I hit the person that used the secret veto. And you're just screwing me over. And Keenan's like, yeah, but is all of that not worth like, but for Jamie? And it's like, that doesn't make like Caden. Like,
Yeah, we
what's the end
understand. Let's
here?
keep moving.
Um, sorry, it's just like literally so ridiculous. So then this plan goes through, and after all of this goes down, that Kaden has been so self-interested, going around trying to push his own move, when he then decides not to do it after not telling anyone that he's walking back this plan. So now he's got Damon mad at him for not using the veto, as well as Damon hopped on a call. He's also got Karina mad at him because Karina's like, well, this part of the plan just fucked me over too because you didn't use it. Karina now goes to Damon and is like, yeah, by the way, Caden's been shit talking you this whole game, and that's why things aren't working out. So now Damon is doubly mad at Caden. You've got Danny mad at Caden for like even considering this and clearly like being talked off at the last second. You've got Juan and Jamie mad at Caden because he's been spreading lies. You've got Kaylin mad at Caden. You've got Ashlyn mad. Like literally everybody is mad at Caden except for Suba, who's like, um, that's my Suba impression this week. When all of this comes to light, though, Caden is like, Danny, do you hate me? Bitch, shut up. Yeah, he does. No, he actually doesn't. Danny's very nice. But it's like, what do you mean? Do you hate me? I don't want to seem like a liar to everyone. Well, bitch, you were a liar to everyone. So get over it. When Damon's like coming at him, he's like, oh, now we're not going to spin this back on me. No, turn it around, turn it around. Quote like Tina Turner. Like, come on. Look how the tables turn. Caden's being thrown back in your face, and you hate to see it. And everything that Caden called Riley out on for doing, he's doing 10 times worse. So that's where I'm like, Caden, you justice for Riley. I'm going to say it. I will be the first to call Riley out when she was wrong. But now it's triply coming back on you because this was insane. The hypocritical bullshit victim complex that Caden had this week. Do you hate me? Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
give your score.
Two. A two from me.
That's what I'm doing too.
So bad.
I was very much considering being at a one. It is such a bad week.
Honestly, one of the worst weeks in Big Brother SS history for a singular. Like, this is up there with Maris Meyer.
I'm doing it too. Put me down for it too.
This is up there with Maris Meyer spinning
we heard you. Yes,
and revealing that it was rigged. Like, my God.
But at least Maris was doing it in like a funny way. You know what I mean? Like she knew that.
She did not know. She thought she was.
she didn't like care. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't like this is the mastermind move. Like I'm gonna like do that. Like she's different story. Caden is like actually actively trying to win the game, and failing.
And this jury hates him.
Yeah, I mean you covered it. Basically, I was gonna say pretty much all that. Like I don't understand. Like if he was gonna like he should have just gone all in with this move. Like you can't go half in and then like stop and turn around because now you made everybody mad. And it's like no, it's better to use the veto on Damon and please Karina and Damon than like turn around and be like, actually, Danny doesn't want me to. Even though he's been saying it all week, he didn't want you to. But now you've made Karina and Damon mad, as well as Danny, even though you did what he wanted you to do, he had to talk you out of it. and it was almost going to happen, and now he's mad at you too. It like doesn't make any sense. Like you should have just gone through with the move, and Kalen still would have gone home. It would have been the same nominees, and Kalen would have gone home.
And not like all that, like Danny is honestly like more mad at Caden seemingly because like through it all, Caden is so clearly guilty because he's just going to Danny being like, "Can you call now? I just really want to talk. Are you sure? It's important." And Danny's like, "No, I can't talk. I'm out with family. Here's a picture of me at a baseball game. Stop asking to call." Caden's like, "But are you sure it's really important?" It's not important. Like, it's literally not important. What are you gonna say?
Okay,
This,
Damon. Moving on.
this, hold on. This jury, one at a time, has consistently, like, I thought, like, Riley's hate for Caden was gonna be like the peak of it. Kaylin has one upped it. Jason is right. Oh, and I think each week it is just going to continue to stack. This jury hates him.
Damon.
Okay. Now that I've gotten that off my chest. Damon is upset and like rightfully so. He came off the block by Karina's doing when he was expecting it to be Caden, who he thought was like a really good ally for him. And Damon has consistently in this game had people coming to him being like, "Yeah, Caden's kind of shit talking you," and then like he's gone to Caden and been like, "I'm hearing this," and Caden's like, "No, I wouldn't." Like the worst I said is just like we weren't on the same page with our HOH. Mm. And Damon's like, "Okay," and then it would happen again and again, and now I think Damon is like at his last straw. Um, it's all coming back to Caden, and yeah. Unfortunately for Damon, we're at a point in the game now where it's like if there ever was a moment for him to be able to like switch this up and get in somewhere else, it was this last week when this new group was forming. And unfortunately, he missed the mark because of these shenanigans of teaming up with Kaylin and Karina and Caden. I think that he's still on the outs and a likely target for the other side. Um, I don't see Damon being brought to the end. I think he appears to be too big of a threat, and I don't see him doing well in these end game competitions. Um, so while I think Damon maybe has the possibility to stick around here for a sec, I do think he's unfortunately kind of a sitting duck in terms of like just waiting until someone just like takes him out. I see him going at 5 or 4 if I had to predict in all honesty. Um, it's gonna be a 4 from me still. I think that he's on the outs largely due to Caden. He's finally realized it. I would love to go up next week, but it's going to be a 4 for me again this week.
Um, I'm gonna stay to 4 as well. I think that I could have seen myself going up if he kept an ally and Kalen in the game. Um, but didn't work out. I think he's starting to get his footing more, I think, and starting to realize like who the enemies are here. Uh, and to be frank, like he has a lot. So I think keeping Kaylin and having Kaylin stay would have been best. I mean, he voted to keep her, but didn't work out with other people. But we'll see. Damon has just been on the bottom for so long, and it's a miracle he's still here because he's been nominated like what, like 5 or 6 times at this
It is
point.
a miracle he's still here.
Um, yes. All right, Danny.
A few of these people are still here.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny, I mean, give it up. Give it up for Danny. I will give credit where credit is due. I will go
Scott
back
is
on.
not getting a "I believed in Danny" T-shirt that I'm making.
Um, I
I will be
two
the only
weeks
one wearing
ago during the Jason week said that I was worried that Danny was giving Random Prince effect where he would just like go along and do it this group once and he couldn't really break out and make his own move, even though he had the good reads and the correct reads. And this week, like, was his final straw. He let Jason go when he didn't want to. He let Riley go when he didn't want to. Now he was HOH and he was not about to backdoor someone that he did not want to when clearly these people were talking behind his back and like using him is what happened. And he was like, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. And he single-handedly went to Jamie and was like, we need to form our own group. Do you like Juan? Great. Do you like Ashlyn? Awesome. New group. Put up Karina, exposed her ass, and then put up Suba. And Suba is like nicest human ever. Like, I don't think she's gonna necessarily be like retaliating against Danny. Um, the only, in my opinion, enemy that Danny still has in the game is Damon,
Mm.
who has reason to go after him, but I think Damon is equally pissed off at Caden, which is great for him. And Damon's also pissed off at Juan. Like Damon is pissed off a lot of people, but one of them is Danny. Um, and in terms of Caden and Karina, they can be mad, but at the end of the day, Danny has the one up on them. He's like, you lied to me first. This was a plan. I exposed you not having the veto. Like, we're cool. I'm not coming after you guys. Kaylin was the target. I said from day one of this HOH, Kaylin was my target, and I intended on seeing her go home. And you got in the way of that. So I was doing what I had. I said I didn't want to backdoor Jamie. I said I didn't want the veto used. I did not want to put you guys up. You went behind my back, and that's what this was. And ultimately, I don't think that Kaden or Karina are targeting Danny. I think they're targeting Juan before Danny. Um, and I think because Danny, kind of in a like a Sarah effect, like in general, like is so nice, people feel bad about like betraying him. And I think Kaden and Karina like feel bad about betraying Danny. Um, I kind of remember like there was a moment, maybe it was Ryan's eviction, but I think back to season 15 when like Sarah all of a sudden turns it on. She was like, no, it's a game. It's time to fucking go. Like that's what this is. And people are still, I think, gonna feel bad about targeting Danny. And I don't see people targeting Danny. This week was phenomenal for him. My only concern is like from the outside and specifically from this jury's perspective, it still kind of looks weak because he just took out Caitlyn. Even like he'll have to explain why this week was so huge for him. And luckily for him, like of the people inside the house, like he's got people like Jamie, like Juan, like Ashlyn. And honestly, I think if it came down to it, like Caden and Karina would respect it if they were on the jury. So I'm not too worried for him in that sense. All of this was fantastic. I will be raising my score. I was at a 6. I'm gonna go to an 8. I was considering a 9. I'm gonna be resting at that 8. I need to see how the chips fall from all of this because this was very big. But this was huge for Danny. Would love, I mean, listen, like, let the gays reign continue. Danny for winner of BBSS 17.
All right, I was at the 7. I'm gonna go up to an 8 as well. I'm not at a 9 yet. Uh, I agree. Like, there's so much that happened this week, and we need to see who's gonna be in power and how it's gonna affect this HOH reign that Danny had. But overall, very strong. I knew that Danny was not a follower. I knew this, and I defended Danny. It's on recording. Uh, and I'm glad that he said, I don't want to nominate Jamie. And I think it was a little like half hearted at the beginning of the week. And I think he ended up sticking to her like more out of spite than like actually like really wanting to work with her. I think it was more of like, no, I said I'm not going to do it. And I'm so not going to do it that I'm actually going to make an alliance with her. And that's what's going to happen. So good for him. Props. I do think you're right. Karina and Kaden aren't looking at him right now. I think that he's looking at them though. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, I mean, he can't compete in this HOH. I would expect him to still be here for the 6 shooter showdown. So that'll be interesting for him how that goes. Um, but yeah, 8 for Danny and very, very good 8. I feel very strongly about this 8. Back up at an 8 for Danny. All right. Jamie.
Jamie. I truly don't think that we have seen. I sincerely thought through this really deeply. And I don't think since Riley McGee season 3 that we have seen such like a 11th hour. I mean, we're not in the 11th hour yet, but like a second half, all of a sudden, someone that was respectfully irrelevant as fuck in the first half of the game, all of a sudden become like this key linchpin, good strategy, relevant, good at comps, dark horse. And I love it. I love it. Claps for Jamie. Um, we're not ranking her anymore in the first half of the season. The first half of the season, literally, if you watch the episodes, I don't think her name is going to be mentioned. Like that's how
She was
irrelevant.
nominated 3 times in the first 3 weeks, but
And
sure.
she's still not going to be in these episodes. Like that's how crazy it is. Um, and
This
she
is
is just becoming a power player.
yeah.
These, I mean, like I'm really going to be talking about conversations that each of these house guests had with Kaden this week because Kaden was so relevant and so atrocious, and I just really want to talk about it. Jamie had a really awesome conversation with Kaden this week where Kaden was like talking down to Jamie almost and was like, oh,
Yes.
but like, don't you just feel defeated? Like you could be going up. And Jamie was like, no, I don't think so. And Kaden was like, yeah, but like, doesn't it suck that like if the veto gets used, that like you might be going up? And Jamie's like, I don't know, I kind of feel good with Danny now. And it was like, yeah, but it must be awful having been on the block so much. And Jamie's like, yeah, but I'm finding good allies now. And then she's firing back at him, and she's like, oh yeah, like right, like you were very public about like Riley being your number one target. You haven't found a new target yet, fully knowing that it's her. And Kanan's like, no, it's kind of early to like be stepping out into the shadows and making moves and like be finding a new target. And she's like, oh, okay, well, we'll see what you do with the veto this week. Like she's just, and I love it. I live for it. Um, she honestly has a really good individual relationship with Danny and with Juan. Um, and I'm hoping would be shielded by them. If she ever, like, let's say she landed on the block next to Danny or Juan in the coming weeks, I think that she'd be shielded enough to not go home unless this country cowgirls group like does like reform in some type of way,
I
which is
doubt it.
out of
I
the.
do not believe that for a second. I think that is over by a million.
I'm not convinced. I think Caden still wants to save face and play victim and be everyone's
No chance.
nice.
And you're hearing it here first. No chance in hell that group is getting back together. No shot.
Sorry, not getting back together in terms of being. I think they're gonna like fake it.
Okay, we'll see.
Um, Plus, I do think Kaden and Karina still do really want Jamie out.
Oh, I
Like, I
believe
think
that. I definitely believe that.
like that's what I mean. Like, I think Kaden and Karina would be targeting Jamie still over Danny and Juan,
We'll see.
which
Um,
is why I worry.
what's your score?
So for me, I mean, this week she solidified herself in an actual tight alliance. I now think the tightest alliance in the game. She is making moves. The jury is rooting for her. Do I think she's in a front runner position? No. So I can't go crazy. However, I'm impressed with her spot. I'm impressed with her gameplay. It's going to be a green score from me. I've been hesitant to do it, but I am going to be moving up to the 6 for Jamie.
Yeah, I was deciding between a 6. I was at the 6 last week. I was deciding between a 6 or a 7. The reason that I'm not going to go up to a 7 is because I do think that she is still being heavily targeted by a lot of people in the house. Whether or not she stays against bigger targets is still to be seen, I think. Especially depending on we don't know who she would be up against. Uh, but I definitely see myself moving up farther, especially if she survives this upcoming week. Like, I think girl is golden to make it far in the game if she can get through the next couple days. Um, so I'm very happy. This is Jamie's highest score yet at a 6. There we go. Very, very happy with Jamie. Very happy. Juan. Oh, wait, we
Okay.
can talk about Jamie. So I do want to say with Jamie, we were on the rankings last night, and I feel like I gotta say this. It was so funny. Um,
Oh.
and so we had the general store open. Juan had just gone in to the general store. He got the video message. Someone on production whose name starts with Scott accidentally pasted in the wrong slide. Well, this is relevant to the story.
Yeah. Keep going.
Accidentally pasted in a picture of the general store to the memory wall with video message still being there as it was like opened because usually
And how long was it there for?
for like half a second deleted immediately, which like I'll give you credit for. Like an hour later while we're doing rankings, which is why we paused, Jamie is texting Juan Or no, Jamie's texting who? It's not.
Jamie was texting Danny.
Yeah, Danny. And was they were trying to figure out who had which item from the general store. And Jamie goes, well, we know the video message is gone. It's on the memory wall. And we're like, what? And we go on the memory wall. It's not on the memory wall, nor is it in the version history. Like there's no version of it. And she sends us a screenshot and it's like, yeah, it's right there. And we're like, how do you have
Like,
that?
how are you viewing this?
She was like, oh, I opened it on my phone and I guess I never closed it out. And it was like, it's still there for me. I was like, that was like 2 hours ago. And it was only for like a half a second. So I had to text her and I was like, please don't share that.
She
uh,
texted back and she was like, I just took back, it's gone. How did you do that? And I was like, how did you do that? Like you did the trick. Like
so I'm not messing with the universe and giving Jamie a low score because I feel like she's got some sort of power here. But we can move on to Juan. I just wanted to bring that up. Juan, I feel like this week, if we're talking in cowboy terms, like took off his black hat and put on a white hat, like joined the good guy side.
listen, I call me crazy, Jason, like forever rooting for you. I
He's
know
a,
you're out now, and I promised I would like never like do anything to like ruin your name, right? But why do I
it
like Juan
worked.
now? Why do I like Juan now? Listen, I'm not saying I was wrong. In fact, I'm saying explicitly I was not wrong before. Everything that Juan did up to this
Yeah,
point
for
was
sure.
atrocious and deserves all of the hate I was giving Juan. However, this was the first week that Juan was just like clocking and making good moves. And I was like, I love it. I love it. Um, Juan, I think, is the person in the alliance, maybe tied with Danny, but that has the best individual relationships with Jamie, with Ashlyn, and with Danny,
Yeah.
which I think is good for him. What sucks is now that I actually start to like Juan, is when I fear for him in the game most. Because I think that Caden and Karina were specifically Juan up to this point in the game has been so good at, for better or for worse, overplaying his hand in terms of being like, oh, like, well, what do you think about this? Could this be the thing or whatever? But I feel good with you, yada, yada, yada. And all of a sudden this week, he was like very clearly, whereas before he had just been open and honest with Caden and Karina the whole time. This week, he started doing that respectfully bullshit like tactics with them. And they immediately were like, what the fuck is Juan doing? And now they really don't trust him. Whereas I do think, maybe specifically for Caden, there is still trust there with Danny, and I don't think there is still trust there with Juan, which is so funny because Danny was the one to put up Karina. Um, so I'm curious to see how it plays out. Because Juan did well this week, and because he was part of solidifying this alliance, and because he is scrappy as all hell. Is it clean? No. But he's certainly scrappy. I'm going to raise my score to a 6.
We
I
are winning
really
this
was going to
week.
stay at a 5. I was really going to stay at a 5. But I'm going to give him a 6.
We are
Don't
really
make me
winning this week
regret
because
it,
I'm giving
Juan.
him a 6 too. This is the first time where I feel like we're agreeing on a lot. Uh, and yeah, Juan, I really like that he has made such not even like good connections with specifically Danny and Jamie, but also Ashlyn too. He's made such like personal connections with them, which I think is like so key, especially when you're at this point in the game and there's two people who are being extremely shady to you. You want just like someone that you can what?
I may go back down to a 5.
Why?
Keep going, and then I'll explain why.
Two people that are being extremely shady to you, you want that personal connection with somebody. And I think Danny and Juan are really clicking. And I think Jamie already liked Juan. Um, Could he be in trouble next week, depending on who wins HOH? Yeah, but like you said, like he's scrappy, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won a veto if someone else used a veto on him. But I want to hear why you moved down to a five.
I moved down to a five because Kaylin just walked into that jury house. And unfortunately, I think you, similar to Caden, how I really negatively like impacted Caden, but just because I think his win equity chances are plummeting. I do think that Juan's win equity chances are also severely plummeting. Not as severely as Caden's, because he still does still have good connections, but having the first three jurors be so vehemently against you is not a good position.
No,
Um,
I'm also not concerned about that. Like right at this second.
I mean, I'm not either, and that's why I only detected into a five. Like, I don't think he is like a no. Like, there's still time to turn it around. There are other jurors, whatever. But specifically, Kaylin going in and fueling that fire that Riley and Jason are already feeling isn't great. So I'm going to be at a five.
Yeah, I think the fact that he's kind of redirecting who he's working with will help him on that front. And once the jury gets to talking, once more people go, and I'm not worried for him as much as I was before, or as much as I am for Kaden. But Karina, let's move on.
Karina, I expect more from you, Karina. I expect this messy bullshit from Kaden. I don't expect messy bullshit from you, Karina. Just to put it so plainly, I don't. I hold you to a higher standard. Yes, I do. We started, in my opinion, to see it last week, where Karina like didn't know what the hell to do for her renom. And unfortunately, it carried over into this week where I feel like Karina knew, and she was trying to say, Kaden, like, we just have to double veto. We've committed to this move. Yes, we could get exposed. However, if we don't do it, we're probably exposed anyway. And then we all like she knew. And then Kaden didn't follow through, and Kaden did his own messy bullshit thing. Um, and Karina got exposed for it, and she was mad. Deducting major points. Everyone now sees her as a major threat and a liar and a whole bunch of things, right? Her hand majorly got exposed here. One thing that I will give Karina props for, though, is she does know how to do damage control pretty well, and she jumped on that train immediately and was doing it well. Am I feeling positively about Karina's chances after this week? No. I think there are going to be a lot of people looking her way. If Karina can make it past this next week, she has made it then past the six shooter showdown as well. And all of a sudden she's in the final six. And that's where I do start to like her chances again. So like if she can make it through this week with an HOH that's like gonna be on her side, like let's say Caden or Damon wins.
Or Karina. That's three people right there.
Oh, duh. Um, then like she'll have time to recuperate. She'll have the six shooter showdown, get that info. Two other people will be gone. All of a sudden I like her odds a bit more. For this week alone, for where she's left, and for how this game unfolded for her, I kind of have to plummet. And I'm gonna give her a four.
Ooh.
It's I was thinking a five, but honestly, like she got so exposed, lost so many allies, and I think a lot of people's noms are Kaden and Karina moving into next week. And while I do think Kaden is the bigger target to go home, that's one veto win away, and she's done. That like she deserves a red score after this week, so I'll be giving her a four confidently.
Yeah, that's low because I was deciding actually between a five or a six, and I'm going to land at a five. Um, I think yes, correct. Kaden winning a veto is bad news for her. I think in all other circumstances, like there's no world where Kaden goes home. Kaden doesn't go home over Karina. And I think Karina still has such high chances to like win the game if she's at the end that it's like, and it's like, yes, she only needs to make it through one more week, and then she's safe, and then she's in the final six. The final six, there's not that much more after that, obviously. Um, but I'm not like too down on her. She does deserve to go down a lot because of what has happened this week, and the plan was just bad. Like it was just bad plan. Um, I'm not going to go all the way down to red though. So 4.5 for Karina. All right.
I'm also faulting her a bit for being so self-interested here. Like she was just HOH last week and like got what she wanted. People respected her plan. And I was like, like it's like with I think Kaden and Karina's issue is like as soon as it's not their ideal, like it's clear that they wanted to protect Damon and Kaylin because they are their numbers. They would have rather seen Jamie or Ashlyn or someone like that go.
Mhm.
I'm also at the 4 because she lost Caitlyn, who granted, actually maybe losing Caitlyn is better for her because Caitlyn was really starting to look at Karina. But all to say, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, let's talk about Galen.
Speaking of, that's mother. And that's all I have to say. 10. No, Caitlyn has been such an unsuspected joy.
Yeah.
I honestly like not to make this about Sean. I'm not making this about Sean because I'm not about to give Sean credit for like the games that they played because that's not what it is. But like in terms of Sean finding friends, like Cyan, Kaylin, and Suba, like on the record, y'all have
Very
done
successful this
most
season.
proud.
Very
Very
successful.
successful season. Um, and Kaylin was one of the realest people in here. She just got it. I am really sad to see her go. Like, did I want to see Kaylin win this game? No, I don't think so.
Not yet.
Not yet. She could have had time to grow. However, she just like she got it. She was clocking. She would give it back to people. She wasn't taking bullshit. She like saw the game for what it was, a game. She knew where the alliances were. I don't know. Like she did a good
First in
job.
the season not to cry, question mark.
I mean, let's roll down this thing. Ashlyn has not cried. Caden has, Damon has, Danny has, Jamie has not cried. Juan has, Karina has not. Honestly, it's the women minus Suba.
Well, Riley cried. Jason cried. Lefteri probably didn't.
We really need
Tristan and Julia, I don't think cared enough. And Julian, I don't even think we saw his eyes at all. So I don't even know.
um I've never been on a Zoom call with Julian. He didn't join a single one. I've never talked to
Anyway, this
Julian.
is not a rankings about Julian.
Um,
You did Kalen score.
Kaylin, I don't know. She just got it. I mean, I'm gonna give her a 2. Um, she made a presentation. Come on, Aaron Donaher, like run it back. It was a good presentation too.
16 seasons in the making.
Evil Twink Sean, like yeah. Um, I think Kaylin and Suba finally talking this week and bonding over how Sean has been yelling at them. And then not talking any game beyond that. Like they were just like, yeah, and Sean does Sean yell at you too? He yells at me. That's mean of him. Anyway, I'm gonna vote you out this week.
You're giving it two?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 2. She doesn't deserve a 3. She was not staying.
No. Yeah, I'm going for it too as well. Well, it sucks because I would put her above Kaden still. So, oh well. But two for me. I love Kaylin. I wish Kaylin played 14 and Chloe played this season so we could give Kaylin a spot on 16, but 16 already happened.
Well, no, because Kaylin would have taken up a different. Kaylin's a juror.
You know what I mean. I wish she could have been in contention for 16. Um, two.
We should have cast Abby Vatron.
No, we should not have. I love you, Abby, but no.
Oh, she played Survivor and was really good.
She did?
She played Jay's game.
Was it good? Was she good?
Yes. Because I was talking to Julia, and she was like, Abby's one of the most active, like smart people here.
Why
She
was she?
made it pretty far.
Well, we couldn't have cast. I would have thought we were casting it. Oh, I was gonna say Abby and Chloe, but it would have been Abby instead of
But it
Chloe.
would have been Abby and not Chloe, yeah.
Season
But
15.
actually, I shouldn't be complaining because Chloe gave us maybe one of the most iconic BBS moments in history. So
Uh, Suba.
Suba. Okay.
Suba.
I don't know what to do with Suba because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Her gameplay has to be some of the worst I've seen. Like her gameplay is the Suba, don't get mad at me. Suba, don't get mad at me. I love you. Is the epitome of the term flop friend. Like she's just like not comprehending anything that's happening. Like Damon like went to text her. She was like, "Yeah, I think the vote's gonna be 5-1," and she was like, "5-1."
She's
For
just
the vote.
surprised by everything. We were like, competition's in 7 minutes, and she's like, 7 minutes. It's like it was at the
Literally,
same point.
everything is shocking to her. And it's like, Suba, we said this. I'm like, oh my
But
God.
she's so funny. Like seriously, like
She doesn't comprehend. She got on, she was like, I'm gonna claim a package. And before she claimed on, she was like, wait, I need to know what we got. So can you tell me like what the ones are left? And we're like, Suba, you don't have to
no,
know. Hold
no,
on,
no.
hold on,
First,
hold on. No, no,
first,
no. We were like, we don't,
no,
Suba, you
this
don't
is
get to
first.
know.
This is first. We were like, she was like, I want to claim a package. And we're like, okay, hop on Zoom. And she's like, Zoom?
Okay, yeah. And then she gets on Zoom. She's like, okay, so like, can you like tell me which ones are left? I want to know that I'm not getting a punishment. And we're like, no, Suba, like you don't get to know. She's like, you don't get to know. And then she
That's
went to
like the
Kaden and
whole point.
Karina,
Why would you get to know if there are punishments left? Why
right?
would you
And
choose
then
a
and then she goes to
punishment?
Kaden and Karina, and she was like, they like you said I would get to know. They lied to me, and we're like, we did not say that. We did not say that they lied. And they were like, no,
God
my
said
permission
you
was
lied.
like you're probably not going to get a thing. And she was like, okay, well, let me read through everything just to like see what I could get. Okay, first up, secret power veto. Not really interested in that. I was like, wow, that's the one that you want. Like,
Not
with that
really
being
interested
said,
in that.
I think if she sits in the final two, she wins the game. I really think she does. I think like everyone just loves Suba. And I'm not over exaggerating. I think if Suba is next to Ashlyn, she wins. I think if she's next to Kaden, she wins. I think if she's next to Jamie, Juan, Damon, she wins. Maybe she doesn't win against Danny. Maybe she doesn't win against Karina. Those are her biggest threats in terms of jury right now. But I think Suba is and will continue to be a top tier jury threat. Also, out of nowhere, very uncharacteristic for a flop friend, but really good at a Google Slides season trivia competition.
Second place in OTAP.
Second place in OTIF and like doing consistently well. Like always answered. And don't get me wrong, Caden was the best, but I think Caden's going to be targeted here. And then that's going to leave Suba
I
as
mean,
the front runner in
I
these
mean,
endgame comps.
she's a corporate baddie. I'm not surprised that she knows how to use Google Slides.
I'm surprised that she studied the season enough to know it quickly, though.
Well, I don't know how everybody knew this competition was OTEP before it started. I was like, how
The
did we
word spread. Um, Caden was the first to clock it. Caden told Karina, and then they told Danny and Juan, and then Juan
I
told
told
Tuba
Jamie.
and Jamie, and yada yada yada. Um,
What's your score for Suba?
I was at a 4 last week. You were at a 5. Here's the thing: her gameplay is so bad, I cannot give a green score. However, she's in the middle of both sides,
Yeah, she's not
and
going.
the jury loves her, and
She's
she's not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think. So I'm gonna give her a 5.
yeah,
Like I can't give her a 6. I can't.
I mean, I'm not against giving her a green score. I'm not because she was on the block this week, and I think she is going to be. There's a chance she could be to continue to be used as a pawn. So I'm going to say the 5 as well. I was at the 5 last week. Um, I'm ready to go up on Suba though. I'm ready, and like you don't need good gameplay if your social game is good and you're a jury threat. Like you don't need
Season
good
one.
gameplay.
Season one. Run it
Like
back. Look at it.
the goal is to win the game. The goal is not to play the best strategic game and then win the game. It's to win the game. And if she can do that without knowing anything, then you know what? Good for her. Like I don't know. So
I think when we sit at that jury roundtable and we say this every season, this is not something that we're saying this time around. Normally, this argument rings really true with people where we're like, and this is what we, again, what we say every time, vote for the person that you want to be the representative of this season. You know what I mean? We don't say vote for who played the best game. We don't say don't vote bitter. We say don't, but we're like, go with your gut. Your vote, you're casting it for like what you want the season to represent. I think a lot of people would be thrilled to have Suba represent
Yeah,
the season,
I would be thrilled.
especially over most of the rest of this lineup that came before her that we just talked about. Like on other
They're
seasons,
really about to
maybe she
win
doesn't
this
stand a
season.
chance. Like maybe she doesn't stand a chance. I'm like,
It's
do I want Suba
about to win this
I,
season.
Suba to win the season? I wouldn't be mad at it. I would love to. Like, it's time we had a winner like Suba. We haven't had it since Emma Mac.
Season one.
It's been 16 seasons. Suba for the win. That's what I have to say.
If she's in the same spot next week, especially after the six shooter showdown, and she's still here, I'm going up. I'm going up. But for right now, she's at a 5. She can't play in this veto. That's the thing going against her right now. I just want her to win a competition. That's all I want from her. I just want her to win a competition. And the thing is, like, to be actually considered as a real jury threat, I think she is going to need to win at least something. And granted, as we get down to fewer people, like she has a better chance of winning things. Um, but I do think she's going to need to win a competition coming up.
In a very, again, I know I compared Riley McGee to Jamie, but in a very like Riley way, I would love for Suba to like all of a sudden like win the web.
Yeah.
Like
That was
out of
so random.
nowhere.
I forgot about that.
Like again, like out of nowhere, just like really good, no one's expecting it. Like would love to see it happen.
Mhm.
I don't think like if she's in the final five, I don't think your days or numbers is her comp.
I mean, she's so smart though. Like the web, I could definitely see as a
The
competition.
web I could really see for her. I agree.
Um,
Mini Mania I could possibly see like a final five
Her days
HOH.
are numbered like too speed oriented. I don't think she's very speedy.
It's too speed and it's too specific knowledge like of day numbers. I don't think that's her forte.
We'll see. But I'm really excited to move forward with this season. Low key, I kind of just want Caden out as soon as we can.
Yeah, speak on
I
that.
do really like him, and I've liked having him on the season. Like
I was gonna say,
I like
I
getting
don't
to
want
know
to
him.
get this twisted. Caden is a great friend, and I cannot wait to hang out with you next time you're in New York, Caden. Let me put that on the record. I cannot wait to see you get evicted. I really hope it happens soon.
I would rather him be evicted than him get to the final two and lose, I think. Although I would love to see people have at him. Like I think it would make for a worse ending to have him lose in a final two. Um Also because selfishly I want him to join the jury and I want people to do it. So rag
I
on him.
honestly, I don't care what happens to Caden, so long as he feels the loss. Like I need him to feel the loss.
Okay, that's all we
That
have.
sounds so
This week.
sick and twisted, Caden. You're great.
Hayden and Kaylin at the bottom this week. One is evicted and one thanks to running the game. Danny's at
No,
the
to his credit, Caden was like, "Oh, I fucked up this week now."
Danny is at an 8 at the top, followed by Jamie, the 6. The only other green score here. Um, yeah, everyone else is pretty much in the middle. 4, 5s, and 4s and 5s. Um, any final thoughts, Scott?
My only final thoughts are this. I mean, I said this before. Unfortunately, like just up to this point in the season, I have not been super high on this season. And in terms of my rankings, like this is kind of bottom five for me right now.
I
This
don't
week,
know. I could be very pleased with this ending.
hold on. This week had the possibility to turn this whole fucking thing around. If they keep this momentum going and this end game is exciting and interesting and awesome, great. Let's hike it back up. I really hope because we've seen some seasons like this where like season 10 had that one awesome vote flip on Cassidy right around this point, juror number two, and then it died again. I
Mhm.
hope we don't see it die again. I would hate to see these next few boots just be Damon and Jamie and Ashlyn. You know what I mean? I want to see some moves be made, some shots be fired. Let's keep let's pick up the steam, everyone. This is your warning. No, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. All right, we're done here. Bye.